I mean, and I think it's also important to recognize that like we're like really insidery, right? Like we watch these things play out because it's part of our job. But the vast majority of people, even people that maybe have been somewhat involved in campaigning for either one of the candidates, aren't necessarily watching what's playing out on Twitter and seeing this. So what's taking place right now is more to send a message to other people who are who have like loud voices, or who have big voices on this issue, other people who are prominent online and social media, in the media, to send a message that your livelihood could be at risk if you come after Clinton supporters. That's what this is about. So this is, I don't think anybody's seeing this happening. I don't, at least maybe not a significant enough number of people are seeing this happening and deciding I don't support Bernie Sanders anymore. Right. You know, I don't think that's taking place. This is more about the sort of how the politics are going to play out amongst people like us who are involved in this on a day-to-day basis.
And think about that, though. Like, think of the ramifications of that. This is no small thing. And I want to reiterate this. This is the silencing of a political dissidents, of political disagreements. This is authoritarianism. This is what you see in authoritarian regimes, where they silence political resistance and political opposition. And here in America, they're not going to do it by throwing you in jail. They're going to do it by taking your job, especially if your job is any way connected to the power structure that is the establishment of the political establishment, whether it be on the right or the left. If you talk against that system and they can't like marginalize you so that no one hears you, then they can take your job. That is no small thing. And I think one of the most terrifying things would be for us to sit and rest on our laurels, or rest on the fact that this may not directly affect us, and lose legitimate opposition voices. Because without opposition, this doesn't work. Go ahead.
Well, that's the purpose of this too. The purpose of everything we've been seeing with this obsession with the Nevada, like trying to smear Bernie Sanders supporters as violent during the Nevada convention, to what's happening with Matt Bruenig. This is the Democratic Party, which is a corporatist party that's very anti-left at its core because of the people who run it, like the Clintons, especially when the Clintons are in charge. They're a very anti-left party, and they're sending a message to the left base that we don't want you. We are not going to give you a voice. We don't want you in our party. We want your votes, but we don't really care about them that much, apparently. But we want your votes, and we'll fearmonger about Trump to get them. But otherwise, you don't get anything. We don't want you in our party. It's a backlash towards the progressive populism that's coalesced around Bernie Sanders, and that's trying to actually have an impact at the convention. Because at this point, it's like Hillary Clinton is so far ahead of him. It's not like she needs to do this to help her get more delegates. This is strictly about sending a message to the progressive base of the Democratic Party that you need to shut up. And so the last thing we should do is shut up. Absolutely. And that's why they're behaving in this authoritarian manner. Because, I mean, the people in charge, I guess, of the Democratic Party at the moment are a bunch of authoritarians. And the last thing I will add on that is that it's kind of sad, because they're behaving like a parody of what the right thinks the left is, which is speech police. Oh, God. Right? Speech police who care who care about language, and that's exactly how they're acting. But they're just doing it towards us.
And they're empowering Donald Trump even more, because the more he can point out this type of behavior, and the more this type of behavior is legitimately seen by people on the right, the more they're going to feel that what they've been saying all along is true, even though it's not necessarily true. It's always some shades of gray in there somewhere. Rania, listen, thanks so much for joining me. Tell everyone how to get up with you and what you're working on.
Well, thanks as always for having me on. And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Rania Khalek. And I write for the Electronic Intifada. You can follow my work there, or you can check out my website, raniakhalek.com, where I try to regularly post my own podcast and all the work I am doing elsewhere. Awesome. So yeah, thanks again so much for having me on. It's always great to have these conversations with you.
My pleasure. You have a great day. Thanks so much.